Good morning. My name is Bridget Kaminsky, and I'm an RCO grant manager. My discussion is going to be focused on PSAR Large Capital Program. The Puget Sound Partnership, PSP, is a state agency that represents the Puget Sound Salmon Recovery Region. PSP works with Surfboard to administer PSAR funding, aligning with Action Agenda for Puget Sound. The purpose and intent of this funding is to accelerate implementation of salmon recovery in the Puget Sound Basin as guided by the Puget Sound Salmon Recovery Plan. Although Surfboard and PSAR projects may be approved by the board in September of even numbered years, and this is 2026, allocation of Surfboard funds occur in September, while allocation of PSAR funds occurs in the following July, so in 2027. Keep in mind, PSAR funding is allocation-based, conditioned on the securing of funding legislatively. So there are two biennial PSAR programs. The first biennial PSAR program is the PSAR base or regular. This program was addressed earlier in this presentation. The second biennial program is PSAR Large Capital, or Large Cap for short. I'll be covering its funding and objectives, eligible projects, application timeline, and regional ranking criteria. Next slide, please. Large cap projects are regionally significant and provide the most benefit to Endangered Species Act listed or treaty right priority salmon species in Puget Sound. Large cap project costs should exceed what is given in a watershed as they receive PSAR regular allocation or be greater than $1 million, whichever is the lesser amount. Large cap projects begin with your local lead entity, just as with PSAR regular. They must be identified on the 4-year work plan and must follow the local lead entity application submission and vetting process. However, they do follow a different project eligibility, timeline, and ranking process. Up to 3 large cap projects per lead entity may be submitted for the regional process review. Keep in mind, PRISM will require the request amount to be rounded to the nearest thousand and no match is required. Next slide, please. So project eligibility is narrower than PSAR regular projects. Eligible project types are restoration, acquisition, planning projects like assessments, design, inventories, and studies, where the results of planning project must directly and clearly lead to a preliminary or final project design, and combination project types, such as acquisition and restoration or acquisition and planning. These projects must be distinct individual projects. In other words, bundling of project within a watershed, like a reach scale acquisition project, is not allowed for large cap applications. And finally, these projects may be phased. Next slide, please. The application timeline for large cap projects is different from PSAR regular timeline. Be sure to check out the PSP request for proposal online for full details. But here in front of you are some key dates. Notice there is an April 8 deadline for pre-proposal materials due in PRISM, a June 3rd deadline for full proposal materials, a June 10th to 11th deadline for virtual presentation for PSP's regional review team, a June 12th for follow-up of review team questions to the sponsor, a June 17th for those responses to be submitted, and then finally a July 2nd ranking reveal. Next slide, please. The regional review team will be evaluating projects on how well the project moves the region forward in meeting salmon recovery goals and treaty rights. At the pre-application stage, projects will be reviewed for eligibility and completeness, alignment to local watershed recovery strategy and priorities, evaluated for the likelihood of success, technical and human, contribution to recovery, and readiness to proceed. At this point, sponsors will need a complete PRISM application, a letter of support from the sponsoring LE committee, and tribal notification, which includes an offer to discuss the project with the affected tribes. By April 30th, sponsors will be notified if their project was selected to advance to the full application stage. So at the full application stage, the partnership's regional review team will score projects on the benefits expected for viable salmon populations, the quality of habitat restored or protected, the probability of project success at the connection to the action agenda. And at this time, 2 additional submissions may be required. The first is some supplemental questions, and the second is a letter from a relevant tribe affirming tribal importance if the project is benefiting a non-listed species. Virtual presentations for the regional review team with follow-up questions and answers process will then lead to a final ranking. And finally, the surf board will approve the final list at their September meeting, which will be submitted as part of the capital budget request for the spring 2027 legislature. Final slide, please. So for additional details, see RCO's Manual 18, Appendix B, Puget Sound Partnership's request for proposals, and then, of course, the Puget Sound Partnership website.